Well, there's nothing better than being in the middle of the creative process. And here we are in a hackathon at Memorial University of Newfoundland and Labrador, and we're in the middle of the Bounce Health Innovation Hackathon. And I'm with one of the teams right now. They just finished up with one of their mentors, and we're going to try to figure out exactly where they are in the process. So why don't you go ahead and start with you and introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Mitchell Hines. I'm a second-year computer science student, and you can visit me on mitchellhines.com.
I'm Leah Murphy. I'm a first-year computer science student, and I'm just here to hang out.
I'm Jack. I'm technically like a 4/5 year, but it's complicated. I work at Seacore and I'm also in computer science, but that's me.
Hi, I'm Elodie Hassoun, and I'm 4th year as well, still doing my work term.
So all computer science students, yeah, and all working on a health challenge. What about the health challenge drew you in?
Me?
Well, health affects everyone, especially in Canada, where it's a publicly funded thing. So it even if you aren't reliant on healthcare that often, you're definitely paying for it. So finding ways to make it easier and better for one person makes it easier and better for everyone. That's what drives me in, because especially locally, you notice that a lot of the systems that we use here for our healthcare system are a bit antiquated. And they don't have to be. It's mostly just an access to people who know how to solve these problems. That's the problem. So, yeah.
Excellent answer. Anybody want to jump onto that?
I'll jump onto that. So the specific prompt that we were given was predominantly around rural healthcare. And we thought about that. Obviously, prompts themselves during hackathons are quite general. And we kind of started to go on to the aspect when it came to aging populations and specifically people in the home care space. So there are lots of people that, say, might live around the island. And it's preferable if you're in some outport community, you would like to receive care and stay in the outport community. It's preferable not to go into long-term care, not to go into a hospital, to stay where you are. So we kind of looked around and asked some people, and it seems that there are systems in place for you to be able to track, different workers coming in to a residence and then leaving it. But once they get to the place, the tricky thing is, what do they do when they get there? And how do you actually track that stuff if you're both, the family of the person, but also potentially, the institution keeping track of the worker? So we kind of realized that's kind of a missing gap, at least what we've kind of looked around a bit. It's tricky whenever you come up with an idea to be like, has this been done before? Because if it has, it's probably not a very interesting idea to look into. But what we thought was a system in which if you have a simple checklist of items to do, like imagine if you go in and there's a checklist of you need to clean the client's house, maybe you need to make them a meal, you also might, just miscellaneous things which are general stuff like showers, but also specific, like is it a person that for some reason they might have some mental issue and they go around and they unplug all of their electronics before they go to bed, and then they come in the next morning and their television's off and they've forgotten about it. There's different things where it's kind of customized to the patients themselves, but if you have this checklist that's both managed by the family members of the person, the actual institution itself, and also the workers that come in, because these workers are also people that keep rotating out. Like you'll get someone coming into it and then someone a week later. Like, do you have to physically go and walk up into a big fat binder of a whole bunch of tasks and then try to dig through it to figure out what you have to do that day? And it's really stressful on the families themselves,
right? On
how do you actually ensure that these people coming into your family's residence they know what to do, and that's our problem.
Well, it's a challenging problem, and it's one that needs to be solved for sure. Tell me this now. I just noticed that you had a mentor in the group, so you've had your first session with a mentor. Tell me a little bit about that experience, and then also tell me where you are right now in your process. Are you still ideating, or do you have something narrowed down and you're ready to move down that field? And I'm going to go to you, Elodie.
So right now we are mainly coming up with the boards and a presentation, but we've not done anything with the MVP yet, which is the product itself. So we are still brainstorming and getting all our ideas out there, so that we really explain what we want to do and which problem we want to target.
Great. So you're ideating now, you're getting ready, starting to narrow down. What do you think of the Hack-A-Thon process? Is this your first Hack-A-Thon, all of you?
This is my first Hack-A-Thon.
So tell me about the Hack-A-Thon experience for you.
So far, it's been really, I thought it was more high stakes. I really thought it was more rigid, but honestly, it's very laid back. It's very, everyone's here to help you. Everyone's here to, I'm mostly here to learn. I mean, I'm only a first year. I've only just completed my first year classes in computer science, so I'm obviously, not as well-rounded in my skills as the rest of my team, but I don't feel like I'm not part of it. I feel like everybody's here, everyone's helping each other, everybody's learning, and it's kind of just a all-around really friendly experience.
Everybody's ideas are important, right?
Yeah.
And everybody has a different lens to look at the problem through, and I'm so glad that we caught you early on in your phase of this, right? It's fantastic. So
myself and Mitchell, so we came to Hacking Health 2019, so there was the one in person, actually in this very same spot, and we approach it from a technical perspective out of the gate, and it was still a fun weekend, but when we came to present, it was we showed this, we had a website that was live that you could actually go on and click, which is fantastic, but we didn't really have a very good presentation.
Right.
So learning from that experience, we've spent more time at the bit where we started from the slideshow and from kind of rough prototypes. We still intend to dig into the technical, but that's coming later, and it's not really the important bit. We kind of learned from our lesson.
Well, there you go, Jerry. This is creativity in action as we speak. One team, and the team's name is Team Checkit. Let's see where they get to by the end of this Hack-A-Thon weekend. All computer science students. This is, I guess, the best example of experiential learning you can find. You're doing it in the moment, solving problems. Keep up the great work. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, your 3-minute timer begins now.
We are Checkit, a home care platform. As a province, we are faced with a diverse set of complicated healthcare issues. In 2020, our government formed Health Accord NL to give us a picture of where we should be in the next 10 years. From their findings, they summarize a few points, but we wanted to focus on the last, that across the 10 provinces, we have the highest proportion of all the people with 3 or more chronic illnesses. How do we take better care of our aging population? We already have a solution to that in place across the island, home care. It avoids the need to fill more beds and move people from their homes elsewhere. But being an important first step in preventing people from moving into facilities, we need a trained workforce of home care workers. So obviously, home care workers are involved. They assist the lives of their clients. They are assisting by helping them with their daily tasks that might be unique to their client. The best people to know the needs of a specific client are likely the families themselves. So why then are family members kept out of the picture? While speaking to local professionals in this space, we discuss issues with existing solutions, and we discovered a gap in these systems in which they lack the visibility and accountability into what home workers actually do on the job. The best way to answer this currently is by a mix of physical binders in the home of the client, emails and phone calls sent around from managing company to the family, and random notes left from potentially many home care workers who've dropped by. Our solution to this is an application called Checkit, which is a mobile application for the family, the home care worker, and a desktop application for the managing company. Using our application, home care workers track what they get done by completing tasks assigned to them from either their employer or the family. To ensure completion, they can optionally attach photos to the checklist items. Certain tasks might not actually be daily and can instead be scheduled, similarly to how you'd add an event to your own calendar. For the family, these photos and notes can tell a story of how their relative is doing without much effort. In remote areas without data, the employer can defer uploading until they're on Wi-Fi. There is also a view of the same application for family members that can keep them in the loop about their loved one receiving home care, with notifications sent to the device. If my grandpa has a dog who needs to be walked, but some days he's not feeling up to it, maybe the home care provider could do it. The family can submit feedback, but there is a limit to what home care workers is required to do. Some feedback needs to be moderated, so you'd be able to vet it by the actual employer themselves. Existing solutions to the problem we are solving are isolated and opaque. This is open and transparent. Since this is an application on your phone, it doesn't matter where you are or the patient are, you can open the application and see instantly how your dearest are doing. We believe what we have is an all-in-one platform in which managers can see lists of clients and family feedback, The home care worker can find contacts with family and company in the platform as well. And this is a platform that is standalone and could also be integrated with existing solutions. Thank you.
The number one place. For the 2022 Bounce Innovation Hack-A-Thon, it is Checkit! Yay! This one? Yeah.
Well, here we are, right at the end of the Hack-A-Thon. A winner has been declared. What a wonderful weekend it has been. People gave freely of their time. They gave freely of their ideas. They came together as one to solve very important problems for the province of Newfoundland and Labrador. And with me right now, I'm so excited to talk to the winning team. And interestingly enough, you are the first team we spoke to, right at the very beginning. Yep. Right at the very beginning of your ideation phase. Yep. So tell us the name of your team.
So our name is Checkit.
Checkit. And why did you
Check it out.
Check it out. Is that where it came from?
I mean,
it was actually a placeholder name, and I brought it up and I was like, Checkit, this is placeholder, someone say something else. And nobody said anything, and it stuck. So there you go.
Right. Yeah. So do you want to tell me a very quick snapshot of what your solution was?
It's for home care companies and families. So basically, it's a app that contains checklists for home care workers to communicate with families, and it's just so much more of like a one-way communication rather than calling and leaving like books and lists, and it's so much more simple.
We found that the existing home care solutions had tracking of when people came to and left places, but when you actually get to the places, there was no inventory of what was actually completed. So our app is like Leah mentioned, it's a checklist of items that get done, assigned both by the home care provider and the family, in which all parties involved can kind of check in and, check in. And
right on. Yeah. So, okay, well, that sounds amazing. So tell me, what was your favorite part of the whole weekend?
I think just like being able to collaborate with everyone, discuss different approaches to the problem, and actually come up with one and actually implement it was quite gratifying. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, and I don't want to disclose how much money you guys won because people will be all over you tonight trying. So I don't want to disclose that amount of money, but I will ask you a serious question. Do you guys plan to stay together and take this idea to another level? I'll throw that over to you.
I'd certainly like to. We're definitely going to see if this tree bears any fruit. But I think for me personally, I've got a lot on my plate, but I've some of that clearing up soon. I mean, I'd like the opportunity.
Right.
Same here.
I think the biggest thing is we could just go ahead and build it, but if there's companies and businesses that might be interested in this application and they want to fund us, we'll definitely do that.
Yeah.
Now, Bounce, the team at Bounce put this all together. I mean, it was a big event to pull together, and I think it was an amazing event. They had great, yoga sessions, great food, a dance party. Everything was thought out. What would you like to say to the folks at Bounce for putting this off?
Honestly, I'm just really grateful for the experience. Obviously, I came in here, I had very different expectations, and it was just all around like really chill, friendly. It was just so, honestly, really gratifying. As he said, like, I feel very fulfilled.
Right.
Yeah.
Any last minute thoughts? Anybody?
It was Awesome. I would say like shout out to Chandra and I did not expect this, but here we are winning, and I'm so thankful. Thank you.
I'm gonna be really sad that not have all the great, fantastic meals every single day.
Oh yeah.
There was so much of it, and it was so good.
So peppered.
I've met more people
full.
from events like these than I have just from like the past year or so. Just
Right.
coming to these spaces, talking with people, getting to hear about the kind of ideas that they have. It just gives you a different perspective. It helps you know that you can actually come up with something creative and innovative and actually make it work. So definitely, coming to these spaces is...
Well, there you go. Great things happen at a hackathon. Thank you, Bounce. Thank you, Memorial University, for housing us in this beautiful facility. And most importantly, thank you for everything you've done for Newfoundland and Labrador.
Thank you for
Thank you
having
so much.
us.
Thank you so much.